Kate's gonna get started on that. Let me get this game. Oh, wait. I have a feeling that's how it's gonna be today. All right, I have to go here. Wish list. Where's the fuck the wish list? Not recommendations. Oh, that is very funny. Where is it? Enveloping me? Damn. All right. I think I'm Kevin. We're gonna die. Oh shit. All right. I lost track of time. I will take full credit. Look at that. Doesn't matter when you have internet this good. All right. Now, I don't know what the best course of action is. Die in the dungeon out on 1.0. I see, I see. See, this would be a good time for me to have like an in-between screen, you know what I mean? So it's not just black and a black screen. That could be the stream today. Hello Raiders. I'm getting set up. What the hell? Nah, I got a game. I don't know how good this game is though, because I did not choose it. This is not Isaac. You're right. This is a game my brother suggested I play. We're gonna see if it's any good. Ah, I see. Yeah, like I was kind of Cat Mario 64. Be this loser. What the fuck? Design a victim. Wow. I think he just needs a hat. Any hats here? No? Bro, that's kind of fucked up. What the hell? Oh my god, it's Tomodachi life. True! You get hats later. I don't know what I'm going to be getting later. Let's be so real, whatever. No hats. Lame. This is a controller game. It looks like a controller game. I mean, I can use a controller. Be sure to read every sign you see. You never know when one will say something useful. Now, I have a bad feeling about this game. It seems like... Yeah. Like, this was a game to be streamed, if that makes any sense. Yep. Okay. Cat Mario 64. Yep. But what is this guy doing? Nothing. He's just there to fuck with you. What if you walk down from the second checkpoint? Yep. Where you play as Zelda and it's a puzzle game? Yes, it is. Oh, what the fuck? The first checkpoint? Did I just get shot at? All right. Oh. Mouse cursor. I don't know why it still had the mouse cursor. Gonna be honest. Okay, fuck you. Okay, I've gone back down as requested. Fuck. Well. Oop. Uh-oh. I've activated hard mode. There's a little path this way. There's a little path over here, but I'm not sure I can get there. Not sure this game is very good. I think my brother just wanted to watch me die a lot. No, doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. Cool. Crazy? Well, it's not like this is the, like this came out of nowhere. I've had this on the back burner since the demo came out. Fuck. I've seen this one too, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But once again, not me. My brother wanted me to play this game. Fuck you. I got shot so hard I ended up in a different area. Motherfucking. This guy, this fucking game. It's Joel Liss, which is another emote. Fucking. I don't have Joel Liss. Yeah, I literally don't have the emote that they're trying to post. I see, you do see. Okay, fuck you. I don't know how long this game will last. I do have a secondary game that my brother suggested, but not my brother. Someone my brother knows suggested. And that one might not suck complete ass. Seems like this game could last 5 hours. Thankfully, I don't stream for 5 hours. I stream for slightly less than that. You get stuck, press this and check for trees. Yep, that's a tree. Sure is. Sure is a tree. Sure is a tree. Fucking sick. Now I know some people like these kind of games. This is very much not my style of game. But I'll give it a shot. I don't know, maybe till the dulls. And then we'll see how people like the, This is a Dan game? You know? Yeah. It's a Dan game. For sure. Fuck you, buddy. There's a second tree. I'm just gonna fucking lose my mind. Let's go, a checkpoint. Gullible as usable? What do you mean gullible? Come on. I've gotten the tree coin. I understand. This game fucking sucks. Gotcha. But at what cost? Having to do this part again, it seems. The Lorax was wrong. True. That's what's to take from this game. Way harder when you bent back. It explains why. Yeah. That does explain why, doesn't it? I think the Lorax is the one who armed the trees. What a dick. Right. Sorry, how could I forget the edit? Okay. Yeah. Stop trying to shoot me. Fuck you. Why are all the trees completely strapped, man? What the hell? What did this idiot tree try to do? He tried to shoot me. Yo, what the fuck? I didn't even get a chance to dodge. Right. Sorry. My bad. I forgot I could, like, move 3 inches without getting killed. My bad. Should have thought a little bit ahead there. Must be an American pine? Yeah, okay. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like, actually, fuck off. Mm-mm. A plan of attack and there's trees, but he can't imagine one tree. True! Using the tree as a shield? Yeah. Well, I thought that would work. Unfortunately. You know what? That's like the least bad thing it's done. I'm gonna count that as the tree saving my life. Okay, fuck you. Basically. Right, sorry. It's been so long since I've been to that part. This feels like a streamer game derogatory. Fuck you. How long until till the dolls? 30 minutes? Ah, okay. Right. Any of you derogatory affection is up to you. I think there's some streamer games. Mentally enriching, true. I think I want to be the guy like is correct. For sure. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't heard of Cat Mario 64 either. My ass would be playing I Want to Be the Guy. I'm saying this is Cat Mario. Right. Excuse me for thinking I could play the game for a second. Like, why even bother? I'm just gonna get to the trees and then I'll dodge the second tree, but then there'll be a third tree that jumps from the sky and I'll have to do it all over again. I like when their trees are there on screen, so I can actually like try to play around it. Ugh. You know, if the other game that my brother suggested is an entirely different kind of game, and I know it's going to be good because someone else suggested it to him, and then rather than play it, he was like, hey, I think you would like this. We'll see, though. Now, to me, it feels like a Fallen game, if I'm gonna be honest. Pro referred the game. Yeah. Fuck you. This does? No, not this. The other game that got recommended to me. I fucking knew it. It's a shit game. I've done it. Hey, there's no checkpoint. I've noticed. Before I can decide what that means. That's fair. Aha! Checkpoint found. Game recommendation the other day. That's true. Fucking... I swear, they're just adding shit to fuck with me. Dick? Am I simply not fast enough to juke it? Hey, fuck you, get owned, idiot. Oh, it's fucking weights. Okay. Yep. Get pranked, true. Okay, that one just literally tripped me just to fuck with me. That's fine, I suppose. Oh. Okay. That was an easier segment. You need written on it? True. Okay, so like, do I go in the opposite direction then? Yup, okay. Cool and innovative gameplay or whatever. Those are loud as fuck. What the hell? Fuck you, ball. Insert coin? This was a mistake? Nah. Fuck. Insert another coin? Nah, I'm good. I refuse to accept that this was a mistake. I would have gotten the checkpoint first. I wanted to see this part of the level, actually. Okay. Sick. Never mind, I never want to see that part of the level again. Silly ball. What's down this? Oh, that's probably the other way up. Okay. Ah, okay. That's the trees hate you part of the level? True. No doubt about it. The trees do be hating me. Oh, here is very simple. Me when the square root of 2. What if I just go this way? Oh, it just falls off that way. Granted, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Sure. Looking. This game might have been the perfect length. By completing the demo, you unlock challenge mode. Try replaying in that mode for an extra challenge. Huh. Huh. No, I don't think we will. Well, that was trees hate you? Well, that'll do it. Well, that was a little shorter than I expected. Honestly, I thought my ass would get fucking owned for a little bit while longer, but turns out I'm actually built different. Turns out I when I die quick. Also, it quit the game like it's gone. To be fair, you missed something. Did I get the hat? I did not get the hat. Fuck! All right, this other game. I want to see a few things first. Store page. Any reviews? Very positive 87. Sure, buddies. I guess if you're into that kind of thing, maybe. This one's at like a 98% positive. You can unlock them. Unfortunately, why would I do that? Should I do the dolls now? It's a little early. By a little, I mean very early. Are people okay? No, wait, I can't do the doles until 8 because half of them reset at 8. Oh, god damn it. Okay. Alright. Let's try this game out then. I should probably check if it has like streaming policy or whatever. Up. This is rated M for depictions and stylized depictions of violence, murder, and implied psychological torture. I hope that's okay with everyone. Shuckle needs to mega evolve. No, get off the store page. Not just a Tuesday for me. Fair, fair. 1 second, I gotta... All right, this is Of the Devil, assuming this got updated properly. Oh, I do think I actually looked at the game. Yes, apparently the chapter 0 is like a free demo, and you have to pay at the rest of the chapters. Yeah, I told you this looked like your Ghana game. I know what I'm talking about. All right. We'll see how it works for a stream game. I was gonna play this on my own, but fuck it. If I'm playing, today's a variety day where my first game was 20 minutes long, and this one will be the rest of the stream probably. Yeah. Is this a controller game? Maybe. I click to do it. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer showers create a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, a slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. The city's got insomnia with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. Morgan! Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, OLCD, mini LCD. Shadows of doubt mentioned, true! Or it's the nearest phone screen. There's light shining on every last pixel of the map, and someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity. Anonymity is scarce. And criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. You take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. You should find yourself in one of those last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world. Well, smoke them if you got them. Not that there's much else you can do until my phone. Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You're expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'd have used that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. of the Devil Episode 0. And he shall appear. Disable tutorials? Nah. I love tutorials. They tell me how to play the game so I don't look silly. Precinct 254, welcome. It's goddamn ghost town. With nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rate be damned. You think they'd treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever. If I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. I should take my time. Information like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can poke around and shake some change loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon on the top left to access the pause menu where you can save, load, and check settings. You can toggle on auto advancing text, the auto button, or check previous lines of the backlog. Look around for points of interest you can check to investigate. You'll earn credits for investigating anything and everything you can. Credit is both a measure of your information gathering skills and your own credibility. So don't go broke now. Read. A data pad. I'll bite. Oh! Make your first credit. Even when they're more advertisement than article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. True! Keep an eye out for articles in the environment. They offer insight on the world around you and credit towards your investigation. Articles are added onto your phone's reading list after they first read them. Choose the prompt takeaway after reading them, and you'll earn additional bonus credit too. Subway fixes acts city to enforce on canopy, declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded. Ah, water damage. Dude, boy, howdy, do I know a thing or two about that. City engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the system are being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive electronic cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures were cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Holy fuck. Civil engineers' efforts will be refocused on maintaining an expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the canopy high above our city streets. Reactions to the announcements could be characterized as blasé. It's been years since the last subway. Since they last ran on schedule. Oh, last ran, a decade since they last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up hope on them ever making comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attention focused instead on the growing investigations into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. As one of the Canopy's major backers in City Hall, Long has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light and noise pollution. And with Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators, for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-steady political foundation of the Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week. But with the subway now officially no longer an option, people and corporations alike have little choice for how they complete their morning commune. Damn, they still gotta work, huh? However, not all reactions to the news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as vindication, possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to be a rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods that could make use of the flooded subway tunnels, but momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at a disappointing 3,359% over budget. The one council member was quoted as calling their system mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical in the extreme in light of this latest announcement. Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea levels to climate change, so there are dissenting voices. Water rises and falls all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. Are we too? Appears you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account information. Okay. Ballsy of them putting the paywall there. True. As if I'd reach for my wallet after having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway that the city's been focusing its efforts on canopy. Yeah, come on. I was reading. An increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. Water. How does it work? Is the thought process there? I think so, yeah. It's a massive project with a massive budget. Lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment, not when the Councilman Long has already thoroughly chummed the waters. Hello, sister of mine. Nothing on the ceiling, nothing on the doors. Actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. No, that's my sister. My brother's the one who gave me the suggestion. My brother. I don't think my sister has ever given me a suggestion for a game. No, that's not true. They keep asking me to play Phasmophobia. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Do you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah, blah, blah. Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel and all during billable hours. There's no room to sow doubts anymore, not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. Terraria on stream? True! The medium's cracked in the corner. Would you consider that cracked in the corner? Personally, I would describe that as the left side. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Probably know the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you could always get served at state buildings. There's a few missing persons too. 1 year of silver plan coverage courtesy of Cadicus as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Though I must be getting desperate. Is that all that's left? What about the actual hologram? I guess that's for when I'm done expecting. High traffic hallways, Unitarian, yeah, furnishing, multiple screen stations, pragmatic brutalism, so textbook it can teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles. There's time limited fish in Final Fantasy XIV to get. So for some people, that's true. From a fight won so long ago, they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. Walking here now with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can. Time to get checked in. It booted up fine, so far so good. Good morning. Morgan here for the public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great, please stay on still for a moment. I wouldn't call intake hollows charming, more like harmless. That's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their text, so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Can you please provide your name and date of birth? So far, so good, was it? Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great. Now can you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why did they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's... I am not stupid. December 26th. December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. You're ready to speak to your client. You can proceed to counseling quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? I mean the interrogation room. I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. Can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection, duly wrapped across gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? Choices that progress the story forward will cause other options to shrink away when selected. Choices that will take the conversation down side paths before running to the point will not. Because of the article you read earlier, you've unlocked an additional choice in this dialogue. You can examine at every opportunity to build your knowledge and get out the most out of every conversation. Oh. I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? The facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. I really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? Sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? You ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It does not interfere with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? Sure. What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I can send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. That'll be all, thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to your right, thanks. But I think it's just me for now, so you could go on a break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks. They don't get my jokes, but it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Eyes gone bad or something. A voice. No, voice is coming from down the hall. Parrot of yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. A building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly lower energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid I try to be serious. Well, the other rings with useful indignation. It's not like our job is important or anything. Definitely cops, and at this precinct, at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same on datapad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. I wasn't gonna say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers? Good cop. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. Bad cop. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Quasim London. All right, London. And this ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farrah Reyes. Hello, Reyes. Ball of sunshine. She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Give me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? True! She can't be more than a few years younger than me. Ahem. We're the detectives in charge of this particular case. It looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. He's never struck me as more than some old timer. Hit her with the old point and laugh. True! And I mean, I would too, to be fair. I forgot to turn the light on. Again. Silly Summer hitting me with the fucking light gets dark bullshit real quick. Also, I picked a horrible day. I don't know if you can still hear me. I picked a horrible day to not have an extra drink with me with all the talking I'm going to be doing. I'll go into... Wait a minute. This is Ace Attorney. Yeah. Yup. Save game. All right. October 18th. Homicide third class. Likes rice, limes automotive history, liars, small plates, cheap people, watching product reviews, bad games of chance, right eye, OS Iris Elite 86. That's me, London. Homicide first class, photography, dry bars, bangs, ties, pollen, after hour work messages, podcasts, hobby, pencil skeption, frequently running late. Got it. Cyberpunk Ace Attorney. Just like me, I have sparked on yet another gotcha in Project Sakai. That's crazy. Chat, it is 8:02. I want to get the dolls out of the way before things get like started in the case, but can I please go get some water first? I beg of you. My throat is so thirsty. I'm not waiting for your answer. I'm gonna go get it. Let's go. Oh, but it's a cup of water from the sink in the bathroom instead of the kitchen. What the fuck? Bathroom tap water tastes better than kitchen tap water. I have horrible news for you. My ass cannot drink any of the unfiltered water in this house. If you weren't here for that part of the Origin is assaulted by water in every facet of their life. My water heater literally, no. My water heater literally fucking corroded away because of how heavy our water is. Like, it wasn't like a mechanical failure. It was a failure in that it literally fucking got eaten away by the water inside of it and like ate through it. Like, we do have filtered water, but that's cold. Extra essential vitamins and minerals? Unfortunately not. Where is the water that's full? The water that full of minerals? Right here, baby. That's what happens when your house is almost, I wouldn't say almost as old as the United States. I think it's gonna be 100 next year. We do have a well. It's over there. No, we have a big water softener in the line from the water supply for the same reason. Yeah, we don't got that. The thing is, even after we filter the water, it's still pretty heavy. Our fridge has a water line that goes through a filter. Lead. Oh, get it twisted. This house had lead paint, lead pipes, asbestos everywhere. Like, really, really fucking dangerous place to live. Luckily, none of those problems ever come out really late in life. So since I don't have any problems now, it's probably fine, right? Now here's the real question. Oh wait, shit. There we go. New window. This over here. Chat. Over the horror Justin went through. Jet boy. Jet boy, jet boy, jet boy. Here's Trojan's box. Yep. The if you can think of any kind of like water problem, I've had to deal with it in the past 3 years. It's been horrible. Places I've been eating off my life at high levels of lead and heavy metals. It just be how it is, unfortunately, sometimes. Thankfully, I don't think I've ever been off the walls as a child. Okay, look, I was never that bad. Probably. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been a child. It's been a long time. By the way, music state. Tag 0. I like where your head's at. Fuck, it's an active item. Fuck! No! Tier detonator me? 'Cause that's in the crane game. Okay, it's an item room item. Must be evil eye, I wish. God, I don't know my actives. No whites, no blue, no gray. Means it could be red. It'd be like remote detonator. I'm surprised that's not like higher. It is Wrath of the Lamb. Lemon mishap? That's 0. Description me? These doors. Sometimes it just gives it to you. Trinket. Rainbow worm. God fucking damn it. Less than. More than, and it's white, but not exclusively white? Okay, now we're fucking talking. Never mind, I'm so fucking good. I'm literally the best it's ever done. I like this graph because the most it has, what is it? The most it's ever taken me is 8. And then 7 so unfrequently, and then it's usually like 5 or 6. Not bad. All right. How mad am I gonna be? I see stones. I see question marks. Probably this. Might not be that. Are any of these like Cambion? Oh yeah, Cambion. Sorry, I was like, are any of these tainted characters? And I'm like, why isn't it just regular like obviously it can just be Cambion Conception. Stupid, dumb, idiot. Come on. Ugh. Blah, 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 blah. Pokédoll. Leafeon. God fucking damn it. 2, yes. Higher. Green, yellow. Okay. 2, yes. 2, yes. How about Cutie? Not Cutie-Fly. Ribombee. That's yellow. Gen 5 or 6. 2 stages. Yellow for sure. Amoris? Aurora Beam. is the name of this Pokemon? Cincino. Can't be Cincino. It's not mono type. I know it starts with an A. There it is. Aurororus. Yeah. Gen 5. Fuck. Fuck! Not Gen 5. Okay. Thinking. Yellow. Oh, so that was not yellow? It's like half yellow. Fuck you. Okay. Yellow. And none of those types? I'm thinking. The crocodile Pokemon. That's 3 stages. Yellow. Not bug. Not rocker ice. Not fairy. It's easy. I think it might be easy, but I gotta remember it. That's not Gen 5. Oh, yeah. Scraggy? Ah! Orange and yellow. Yep. I forgot that Pokemon exists. Speaking of Girder. Bunch of Gen 5 Pokemon today? Watch out if Blank's 3 heads are looking in 3 separate directions. It's a sure sign that if it's on guard, don't go near this Pokemon if you're being wary or decide to peck you. Okay, well this one's pretty easy. I forgot the evolution name. Don't worry, I got you. This is Amistar. Like specifically. Yeah. Don't ask me how I was able to determine that it was that one. Shit. I feel like we just had you the other day, Sheeran. Dang. Pretty close, though. Is there no, there's a few Pokemon with 3 heads. Hydreigon has 3 heads. Magnemite has 3 heads. Magneton, sorry. Dugtrio, I guess, is technically 3 heads. Tauros does not have 3 heads. That's tails. Yeah. Wugtrio. Only one with 3 head that learns Peck, though. I think so? No. You know what? I'll have to check if Hydreigon learns Peck. I don't know. Obviously, you would never use it on Hydreigon. But... I just want the move set. Hurry up. Bite Roar. Nope. I don't see Peck anywhere there. Obviously, as y'all know. What about Mewtwo, which is just 3 Mews? I don't know. I'll have to go. Well, yeah. If no, Mew can learn every TM. And I don't think Peck has ever been a TM. You know what I mean? 3 Mews together and calling it a new Pokemon? I mean, that's literally what Dugtrio is, man. Back in Magic Sand also had red hair. Well, I'm guessing there's only one red hair. There's actually 2 people with red hair, but that's okay. Whoever was at the desert compound had a heavyweight weapon. All right. Medium, heavy, heavy, heavy. Okay, so... desert compound did not have the ruler. The shortest suspect has never been in the town square. 5'9", 6'2", 5'8", 5'4". Has never been where? Town square. Town square. Boom. Either Dr. Crimson had a channeled text. You didn't. Was at the edge of town. Oh, at the edge, on the edge of town. Awesome. Sick nasty. The suspect in the desert compound was born December 2nd. Sagittarius. Aquarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So you were at the desert compound. Okay. Everything's there. If you are at the desert compound, and this can't be at the desert compound, that means you have this and this. So we have all the information. A selenite wand is clearly seen to commit the crime. Bam! All right. Hey, Akinator! Let's try this again, shall we? Let's try this for a third time. Are they human? I don't know if they have like a special species they claim themselves to be. Yeah, okay. Japanese. As far as I'm aware, they're Japanese. Do they go to school? Yes. Are we human or are we dancers? Human dancers? Have a brother or sister? Yes. No. Older brother. I think it's older. I'm gonna go with yes to older. Is that right? Up. Older? Let's go. Character blonde? No. Blue hair? No. Pink haired? No. White haired? Yes. No. No. Yes. Often invisible. Probably. That's how we answered it last time. Blue eyes. I don't know. Colin, your icon is too difficult to make out. They are blue? Okay. Associate with the student council, yes. Does your character live with any of their parents? I'm gonna go with don't know. Does your character live in a mansion? Why do they care so much about who they live with or what they live in? That's a no. There you go. They did lose their powers. I know this from last time. Does your character have a Russian accent? I'm gonna go with no. But I don't know for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, I guess. Yes. Well, now you can't. Is your character linked to an animal? I don't know. Am I linked to an animal? Does your character live? I don't know. They do live in Japan. As far as I'm aware. Superpowers, yes. Does your character always dressed in black? No. Is your character an adult woman? I don't think so. They seem younger than that. They are part of the student council. They are not Russian. No. It does not seem to be the case. Little brother. No, it's older brother. Associated with anime. Yes. Sharp teeth. No. Facial hair. No. We're mostly orange. No. Feel like I'd be able to tell. Do they use a sword? They don't fight, so I'm gonna go with no. It's red more so. Is your character associated with cooking? I mean, technically, in like a roundabout way, they are. But I don't know if they literally are associated with cooking. Probably not. Redhead. No. There's one meme. That's a lot. How many memes do most characters have? Hey, do they appear in the first season of the show? Yeah? Look at that. Does your character wear a lot of blue? There's only one season. Oh, you said red. They do not live with a YouTuber. If that's true, I just fucking I don't know. Does she own a horse? No. How am I supposed to know? Are you dating this person? I am not dating this person. What the fuck? What the fuck? Is your character associated with farting? The hell? No? Is your character a part of a group of 3? Fallen? It's more than 3. It's probably 5. That's like the normal one. Pick 3. Does your character show their face a lot? I mean, they're invisible some of the time. So, like, literally no? What does this mean? What would you pick for this? As much as anyone in public? Does that count as a lot? I don't know. You know what? I don't know what the fuck you're asking. I'm gonna make an assumption that they do not have an associate with the WWE. Nor Disney. Is this a children's television show? I do not know the rating on this show. I think the answer is no. Like, children's TV is like very specific. Probably teens. All right. Go with no. They're not a gorilla. No. Not a mother. They're like a teen. They're not liquid. Does your character make animations? Is our character an animator? I feel like you had a better chance of getting this yesterday, Akinator, and it feels like you're throwing pretty hard today. No, they are not African American. Does your character have a boyfriend? I do not know what their current relationship status is by the end of the series. I'm gonna go with no though. By the end, maybe? I don't know. No mustache and beard. I don't remember if it ever gets there. Is your character in grown-ups? No. You have 15 questions to get this, Akinator. And honestly, you're either fucking with me or you don't have this. Have you ever had a crush on your character? No. What the fuck? How would that possibly answer this question? Associated with funk? No. Famous for their butt? Akinator, what the fuck are you on today? Is your character killed? No? I think you would have mentioned that before. Freakinator? They really are. Like, no. No. He wants to guess a YouTuber so bad. Keeps asking about it. I know. All right, that's it. That's all you got. Is that right? What the hell? That's right. Now Tamori. I told you, he was just fucking with us. He knew the whole time. He was just asking us fucked up questions just to do it. Played 15,000 times? What the fuck? And I'll now ask 40 questions about YouTubers? I know, right? His smug aura mocks me. I think that's what it's supposed to do. It was how to make good content. I gotta say, he does know how to make good content. Speaking of good content, it's time to see how good this goes. All right. We're meeting these two police officers or detectives. It only took them 3 days to get it. True. One where I had no information about the character. The other time he broke. And the third time he fucking went all the way to max number just to guess it anyway. Sunshine is definitely a new face though, by the way. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks iron. Freshly promoted maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency call within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? I may as well bite at this point. So you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy, a fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. We've got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm on to some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. Based. Is this a mystery detective game? Yep. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK? What is that loud ass noise? Oh my god. 1 second. tell me that's not another water line break on this road. I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh, please. Never heard of him, by the way. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. Literally just lying to have fun, I guess. The name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. Their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, in the media, on the net, everyone's indulging these. That same kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. Right now, I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. When it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender. Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it, along with everyone else. One bullet straight through the heart, body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Aiming the bullseye at a shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that, it's a whole different beast. He's a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. That's pretty a terrifying thought. Should really start paying more attention to the news. How could I managed to miss 6 murders? Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it. The HK6 victim was found a few hours ago. We caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is his heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime? It's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have some serious evidence to back that up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in discovery files. In the arcs, of course. Yo, I don't have anything that says arcs. Augmented reality crime scene is an investigative tool in which data harvested by the sensors worn on first responders is used to recreate a digital copy of a pristine crime scene. Okay, number of tech corporations and frequently modified and even personalized by local municipalities. Our system is used by every major police force. Of its introduction in the early 2060s, the technology briefly came under public scrutiny when the independent news organization United Media Casters released a series of reports claiming that R's data was regularly edited by corrupt officials to erase state secrets. Okay. The reports were later found to be fake, and UMC was exposed as the subsidiary of a cell corporation within Lambda Work Solutions were marketed a number of alternatives. Oh, fuck. Board members at Lambda denounced the actions of said cell and offered assistance to their former competitors in suing leadership at UMC, but the proceedings and settlements in those lawsuits remain sealed. Woo! All right, that's something, all right. Get a local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But it's the same. Could I ask you 2 some questions while I got you here? No kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives. This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your clients do an interrogation all night for all I care. Intero. You mean the counseling quarters. Right at your disposal, counselor. Shouldn't have cleaned up so much for just little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce the guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. He's really old-fashioned and really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, or listen aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Ray's desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single note of personalization. She's so new she hadn't time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe? Robotic was the angle I was thinking, potentially. Read, well, hold on. Latest Noble androids receive warm welcome. Bolstered by a strong earnings report and surging sales of the Animate 16, Noble Electronics stock rose a stunning 3%. Cool. To a new record high. While Noble's latest iteration has yet to surpass the sheer popularity of its predecessors, an increased profit margin has left Noble's shareholders very enthused. Many investors were skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced that their 16 line would be the first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic compounds. That's more of like a cyborg than an android at that point. So-called warm androids, which are at the same time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors, were looked down upon as impractical due to their increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. And while some critics voiced concerns that fringe religious or traditionalist groups might find warm androids controversial, more business-focused minds feared that Noble was alienating its customers in the industrial and military sectors in order to cater to civilian users that viewed their androids from across the room and not from above the factory floor. Okay, fucking and? However, as has often been the case in the latest decade, Noble's doubters were proven wrong. The Animate 16 is poised to break profitability records with no signs of slowing down. Many industry analysts predict that these once rare organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life within the next 3 to 5 years. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16th line's success, and indeed the success of Noble's androids in general, can be attributed to the remarkable lifelike personal charm of their products, and all by accounts that charm can be attributed to the work of Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. Lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said Noble brand ambassador Lucy Dees on stage of their latest Noble Industry Week. Is because of his turning solution that every Noble product, from the sleekest assistants to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved and trusted by our customers. While his reputation was on full display at the event, Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. He's always been recluse, but he's become a genuine hermit in recent years. Or he's really to believe he's still, hey fam, looks like you're not logged into this device. Want to put in your account info so we can keep reading? He's in the news again. It's no wonder. Can't spit without it landing on a piece of Noble tech these days, especially not where the state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids though. For government use, they're just too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek. There's an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. Aha, that's called paying attention. Auto find control. Ooh. Loose wires, missing panels, an aircon system, the air conditioning system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I was expecting to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They had a stunning clearance rate, and they work fast. Guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, what with our deer dotting surveillance state eliminating much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. Dumping grounds for the police force, most unambiguous and least popular. Okay. Nothing else jumps around me out here. I got a better idea of who I'm dealing with at least. Now I need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. Okay. Press C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I'm an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. The state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. C. Thank you. Androids are bringing back dinosaurs. I don't think bringing back dinosaurs will ever. What would that accomplish? All right, if I project from my phone. That dinosaurs as they were is impossible. That's not the point of the hypothetical, Jamie, and you know it. Points at you. Don't answer in bad faith, punchers. All right, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. All right. The victim's body. Cause of death. Ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound to the heart. In brief, death was instantaneous. Yep. No injuries anywhere else and no blood or skin under her nails, so no struggle. Blood splatter, forensic, and all other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. The killer was standing in the doorway when they were fired. Murder weapon, a revolver found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 cylinder chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing. But all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. He was found by the police with a murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudice. Fuck you. Words. Why does this not my mouth cannot form specifically this part of it? Judicial. Prejudicial. Ah, there we go. Just had to focus on it. Would be an understatement. Seems like this vase got tossed aside at some point. And if there's not a scratch on it, must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement? The stand-up mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come attached from its arm while shards of glass were scattered, far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this, but no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. It's a lounge chair that got thrown and whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris? Flagged as irrelevant? That's their technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything the police highlighted, but did I miss anything? What's the clock? Ah! The hell is that? Something in the victim's hand? Oh! How the hell did? It's just a pill organizer. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's Tuesday. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and triprexazone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and it wouldn't have changed the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything here seems very incriminating. The kicker's everything that's not here. Know how to place DNA, fingerprints, crumbs. Then that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before, but not much more. Only have to sing for my supper this time. Better get start. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person who comes to mind is, I suppose it could be something important. Brat. Red. What couldn't wait until morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What do? Make me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish. They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomach ache. Sad. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? Is that your mugshot? I wasn't not gonna get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. But I'm working right now, so anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Ah, I see. This was written before AI became a thing. Because they fucking... compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder like Hardy B is like... Quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why do you take the job? Lol. You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You taking up lost cause, probe nose work? It's pro bono. It's pro bono. Oh, probe nose work. That was autocorrect. You know, they give lit homework for a reason, you know, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's up with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You got school in 3 hours. Shit. Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it? Is your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? Oh, there'd be at least a few androids around. Ain't many androids in any police station this week. Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble. Good guess. Hardly they're the biggest robotic corp there is. Could spend all day in city center without leaving their office shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping at least. They have school on Saturday? What the fuck? Jamie, you do know in Persona 4 they also have school on Saturday, right? Huh? Japan is hell. But these talks never last long. I'm sure they'd be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids. Warm, you might as well call it the adult line. Might see him in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective yet. Yet, really? You really think that'll happen? We already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds. Doesn't seem like that big of a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives, with all the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk to us? With your warm personality, I can't imagine. A cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions, you're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal in a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're gonna start posturing shit that get you put on a list. Oh, we certainly don't want that. But flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we get all of our facts from machines. In a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The police union wouldn't let that happen. Horrible news for you, Rays. You needn't have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. So about the basics. What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Backer Flat, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already? They really do think he's a serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree, that's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. City's got damn near more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Oh, Harper's gotten away with 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times. That makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nut jobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So it makes you think this is premeditated. How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. This serial killer chooses victim at random if they have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than that they all look like cousins. The physical similarities are striking. All 5 previous victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? You really believe that? You should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You're really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? Young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from the portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think what exactly? That Carlos Flass wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits. Then you put the shoe on the... Huh? What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there would have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There would have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. I saw the time of death of 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. We managed thanks to less biased sources. And we're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. They've interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The husband and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw on the arcs, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. We heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right Emergency Services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was. The silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrived on the scene at 9:08 p.m., established a perimeter, entered through the open front door at 9:10. Then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend with his hand covered in her blood. At which point they moved to secure the scene and the suspects. Sorry, did you say his hand, singular? Your client's modded, cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a hollow 95 habilis. Industrial grade looks like. Says he's spec'd for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA. Which means a medium grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Considering a career change. No, it's not like that. It's just, your eyes must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. Here I thought you just had 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? Yes. I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? We're getting back on track. That arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. You can't work without it. Money's got tight. The arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance they're willing to chalk that up to coincidence. The guy was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver. And no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Cavalier M54, 6-chambered, 10mm. Really? Just 10 mil? Calver, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags? How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulls, safety coded to the owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags made shooting crimes very unambiguous. You're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes. How else do you think he would have gotten away with these 5 other times? He tried to buy a gun legit. He'd probably fail the very first psych check. Even jailbroken peeps are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old, too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. Now that we have our hands on it, I'm putting him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks, bullets fired from guns that old, are marked by the barrel's shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we know they were all fired by the same gun. It's not plug and play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. If I'm reading this right. But he said he put in the arm 8 days before the killing started. But he has it now, it looks like? Are we reading that right? That might have been the cause of the money problems. If that's not damning enough. The spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber. No, he still doesn't have it. Okay. Good. I thought I was reading it, but the way Jamie was saying it made it sound like he still had it. And so they said he only had 1 arm. Look, sometimes I look back in my memory and I'm like, I can't trust that. So, thank you. That's what I thought was the case. That's why he was caught red-handed. Singular. Without even needing to reload. The Calvar your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. Untagged gun, just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically, with his girlfriend. And then he retrieved his weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, he definitely didn't fight physically because there's no skin underneath the fingernails, which is usually a case that you would see when like people are getting, you know, physical. Guilty. How was his effect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. Now she may have lost influence with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. And so long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of the HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodworks in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, no? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gone away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA registries robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crimes at an all-time low, and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you're gonna spout some alt-pole bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along, good point. London's trying to look like he can laugh it off. The pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. Well, yeah. Even though there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the other shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. How is that even possible? I know there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in this entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, madam, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state's security network. It's not perfect, just another one of many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect, it's meant to help us solve crimes, or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Everyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved, but the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They had mentioned if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. File says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times and locations where Optics would have been down. Even with the devil's own luck, it can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed, yeah, there's a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight, right on schedule, so to speak. It included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Oh, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect data at any of the crime scenes. No footage and no forensics. Also, no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We don't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Frankly, a lucky blank for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drone, forensics, no matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK's the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some execs, X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to 1 or 2 unlisted at some point. Nothing came out of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they have, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detective. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do. The picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because he found a handwritten confession at his desk? Well, this fuck. That's unexpected. I'm sorry, you're telling me that he wrote a confession. Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but it should warn you. It doesn't exactly make for light reading. I have to manage somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough. I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. I don't know. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. If you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have a pretty strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel and unusual. And that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. True! Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, counselor. We'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs that is, stays on. Not worried about me? How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinding. Gross, I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people died is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Put it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. This has a great deal of time and money, and they showed their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. I also agree that that wasn't much of a confession. We'll see. D003? It's depressing as hell in here. You need to lighten this place up. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night. What are you? Look, I already told you people I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. You're a lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, no cybernetic arm. They said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here, kept repeating it the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side. Then they thought that it's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? Let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded, wrote. Yes. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with city engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the fleet might be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm. I got it slotted for the job, and Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in city engineering, not a desk job. Raya said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty. Utilitarian. He doesn't strike me as the type who enamored with the aesthetics of modding. Yeah. The young and restless and the rich. Young and the restless and the rich. Swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No. He's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. She's just lying! You had everything planned out. A whole career path, promotes and bonuses, and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seems like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured I'd start at all. I'd start small. A hand or an eye, test the waters. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Can't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I work the tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know? Speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. The right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy, you must be under a lot of pressure. Because I read the thing! Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cornered off. Damn straight! And this crap is long? Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is gonna come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah, and no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard to not look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection. Did the therapy not take? It's not that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. The cuts on his face are just from shaving. Never thought this would go on so long. I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said, an easy fix. But the problem got bigger, couldn't let it get that far. You need to be able to trust your own hand when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Where did you turn it in? It's a mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! I'd found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenanced. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself. Just in the meantime, I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white knuckle tight. Hindi? AO Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their habilis models. But I took one step on site with uninsured tech. Forget the fines, I'd lose the down payment and my arm. And I'd never work in this city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with the management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that longs in deep hot shit. Mention discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Arm-shaped attached to me. Arm-shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a dead weight, 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. So sorry, it's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible, technically. I can slot it in and feel on balance again. The fingers don't even bend, and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep or dead. So you were wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so can't have gone too far. Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only because at the time in question he didn't even have it right. No inconsistency in the story so far. He's opened up as well as can be expected, but this has just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim are romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. Known her since college. We share a few classes, some mutual friends, always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused her studies on agriculture. I always take them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gate. Practically headhunted. You believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real-ass job. Paid real-ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. But as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No. Perigee Labs. Perigee Lab. No, I'm sorry for your loss, dude. Maybe. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows 1/3 of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that side, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little cutthroating. Little throat cutting. Oh, same thing. But Harco is about as tame as big businesses can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Has she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes. Corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I've never got the impression that no one I know could do this to her. There's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I had to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. All right, Miss Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready, we were arguing. We have been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working. Haven't been making money. Haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money. Reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8? Yeah, must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. But I said one thing I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah, walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off. Didn't even take my keys fob. Didn't even lock the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras wouldn't help them. That leaves... You go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes. Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details straight. My head is... Wait, backlog? Oh, he actually did stop the sentence there. But if my exact route would help, the cam's probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out on the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi. This can't... Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos. I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Don't got like door logs? Now you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was, but it was loud and it scared me. It came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first, but at some point I must have started running because when I got back, I was so out of breath. When I saw that, the front door was open. Something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't. You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment, street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway, I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. I thought we had been robbed or she had fallen or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw this gun. It looked so heavy. But I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do. You hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. And none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Halt. Heads up. Stay up to date on the details of all evidence by checking your phone. If your client notices that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, and we know because... No, of your prints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos. All I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun. Also, he just said the gun was heavy. He literally just said the gun was heavy. But I get what he means by saying it looked heavy as well. Like a revolver in particular looks heavy. Now, whether that's what he meant? Probably not. He probably did literally pick it up, but if that is what he meant, it makes sense to me. But not in the way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun. So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seems like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say we did? They assumed as much, which means they've also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. You say what Carlos has told me. What else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR model built from data taken as the police entered, so right, just that. Just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was. But well, the mirror was upright. Of course. That clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point and the bed got tossed, the cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me, I see. Like so? What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instincts. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. Just, I guess I assumed your note making would be edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean, I think your drawing was pretty good considering. I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. She's a lawyer, not an artist. True! Letter? What do you mean? I mean, this letter here, do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, say things I don't mean to. So this morning, I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them. That's I broke her fidget tubbies. Excuse me, Carlos? Yeah, that's about right. Her what? Her what? She said it outside of her monologue. Why does this have custom music? Her fidget tubbies. They're these collectible ceramic character things. What the hell is a fidget tubby? These things apparently. Guilty son of jail. No. They're supposed to be like tactile. Use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters. She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but with that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know what I'm swinging it half the time. I got so angry, I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless. Okay, let's say you did break her fidget at Ducky's with this replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession from the heartbreak killing anyway, couldn't even bother to suit them up. I felt so... All right, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. Wait! Fuck. Sorry. This, right? Ceramic debris of indeterminate origin. Yeah, okay. So that does in fact add up. That he did break something ceramic. I'm going to call the police back in here and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? So many unread phone notifications. These are no. I'll have you know these aren't unread. Okay, these are things like flavor flowers, student debt sizable. Yo, bro, same. Let's go. Oh no. Criminal likes killing, just likes getting caught. Probably read. Probably not into astrology. Suspended due to influence. These are things I've already read. Yep. This is all the evidence. Yup, I know that much. Plat's coat? Let's see that. You have a zodiac sign? Just saying. True. You know, while I'm here, always important to save your games. Heartbreak. You mean that psycho that was treading all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess? I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everyone's on edge, a guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right? Please get the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murderers, Carlos wouldn't have noticed any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this low in the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when these officers walk in and accuse him of being a serial killer. Let's have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee. That should... $3,000? I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Uh-oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh, and what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh, well then, no to that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. What I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win, which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. So, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. Yeah. Yeah. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. My power just went out. No! That's why they're up there and why we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can, win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know there's a saying about gamblers and strategies? Yo, ready to confess yet? Guess I already woke up the DA. Because I already woke up the DA? Alright, she must be new. Usually attorneys have final say on whether or not the case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long protracted trials. And they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately then, you have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counsel. Different generations, I suppose, before my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession, let's start there. Okay, well, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts. What's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint by numbers stuff. See, we found a note at his apartment. With his fingerprints on it, yep. Apologizing for how he hurt them, all so bad. How are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. I've been building up my hand all night. Now I've got weapons to answer everything that try to throw at me. Well, my client did write that note and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for laid out, then review responses in your hand. Select the card with the best answers to the argument. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder on what key point you're answering. He wrote a confession. Yup. This is the best one. Boom. Just me apologizing for this. The hell is that? Win your first hand? Found myself asking that exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something found from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Pure, non-GMO, augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. True! Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's a scene of a murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But I was referring more to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible, oh. Because that vase wasn't damaged. Not possible the reason that come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that? How is that possible? The lady at the garage sale told me it was an old and delicate. Damn it! One time I tried and thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does that even matter? The vase doesn't have a scratch on it. The debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying this confession was an apology for not vacuuming. I am, because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidget bobs. Fidget tubbies! And what's your vibe? What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. This impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote the note. We can all plainly see that there's ceramic dust at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly show. The fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle too. You're really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? But I can do better. No, the collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. They broke during the shooting. I guess this works? Those are the rental you got into custody, huh? One side of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your text found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her, happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. Says that rental arm hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, Sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how stalled, how panicked that note is. Leads me to believe that he was upset over fidget tubby collection. One that hasn't even been graded? Setting aside Detective Ray's surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles. You're correct, they hold no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. Cough nerd, true! But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason the notes look that way is because Carlos is right-handed. Yep. Because Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? The reason why that note looks so like a silent wall scribbles is because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Take into account, alongside the ceramic, your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. It's like an Ace Attorney-esque game, Groovy. So yes, technically? Okay, fine, forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You established that your client's remorseless. Let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. You found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old damn gun. That just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, the coat is... What, you're gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? You're trying to bait me in a typical low-key fashion. Even flows, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try and use as little credit as possible while waiting for a more favorable chance. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious, what'll it be next? You gonna tell me he was actually wears an extra small? Why can't I raise? Oh. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah, sure, there's no evil twin you forgot to mention. No, I'm afraid not. I'm gonna ask a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. Proves innocence. I'll need to go there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence. I have no evidence of a third party at this time. Damn right you don't. Here is day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I have to. We're not contesting any of that, Detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene, which was not smart. Hey, but not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. You have those clothes on hand, by the way. That finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought the room smelled like... Psst, Morgan, what are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I can remember that much. She doesn't... So doesn't that like make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. But really, not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it that reminded me of? All right, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh from the lab. Okay, yep. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, I just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? Do I have that in my evidence now? No. You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. You just proven your innocence. A client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagged firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. Are they saying it doesn't have gunpowder? How well do you know guns? Quite well, unfortunately. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What other forensic data? Okay, not that one. Where's the fuck's the coat? I just gotta double check to make sure I read that right. Am I crazy? Where'd the coat go? No other details of any forensic significance found. Now, would you be able to feel that? I don't think so. You would be able to smell it, right? I think it smells right. Just do me a factor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dry blood. Exactly. The coat smells like dry blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. Yep. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. I'm pretty sure they but not before your partner, it seems. See, gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfirings. When it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. I talked my ear off about the differences, how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. A revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. You don't trust your nose, you can check the lab reports. I think if they found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken his time to highlight it. Well, whatever. It just means he washed off after shooting her. He would have changed his cloth. That's not possible, but it would be pretty pointless, huh? His jacket and his left arm were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider that charges Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible. Whoa! They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. That gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So it looks like he never actually fired the gun. I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say, did she get the message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks? But your luck just ran out because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moments of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't be still talking. I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. What was the exact... Oh, the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't be here. But I doubt she's pulling this out of us. She's got something from the scrubbers. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure there was. This isn't from optics. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Well... Okay, the quality is lacking, yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in the whole city block. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale of their tools to operate on, I guess the chances are always in their favor. Okay. Time is 9. All right, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from worst case I envision. You can say I got lucky, which means the stakes are, well, it's a little bit blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone, probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. If their phone was on, its camera would be on, and so he managed to get the shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. You could kiss its admissibility and cork goodbye. I can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. There's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right, we couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving the police station anytime soon. That photo, what the hell is happening to me? I think I know a DA that could. Don't be modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know who had their left hand fingerprints all over that gun? Referring to my client, you think? Besides, she wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight. He must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. Left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensic will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes you miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get to where you're going, you somehow end up dry. That doesn't mean it didn't rain. All but just say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. That photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. Both are true. That means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So at a loss for words, never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly. Professional data usually only accurate to the nearest public router. We de-anon the phone's owner and ask them where. Why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tell us the perp shot from the room's doorway. From the front entrance of our apartment faced to the south, there's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. Looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this was taken from across the north window. Well, hold on. What was that? Shows a northern window facing the southern hallway. If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the... Sorry. It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got this shot must have lived on the other side of the street. So they're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I could seize the opportunity to start a turning tide. Photo was taken from the north. Faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. Looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obviously that this was taken from across the north window. And why can we clearly see, though? If she's wrong, I should seize the opportunity to start turning the tide. I need to look at the stuff again, because I think you're right. There could be some stuff going on with the mirror, but I need to look more. Like, that's a mirror, right? North. I'm not sure how this mirror works. Well, where was the mirror? Broken standing mirror found at the scene of the crime. Said mirror was a low-tech furniture with no digital to shatter shards of glass onto the victim's body. Came through the mirror and hit her in the heart. But if that was the case, we wouldn't be able to see the person on the other side of it, right? I wish I could see the photo again. Ah, here it is. Like, what are these lines? There's the clock. The clock is over here. The binds. Okay, yeah, okay. The clock is there. Okay, chat. I know this is gonna sound really cringe, but this kind of thing's really hard for me because I can't keep images in my head. So give me a second. This is the one time Aphantasia really sucks. Okay, clock, doorway. Pop up MS Paint. The clock is here. Well, that ain't right. Is there any way the clock could have not been facing that way? Are we sure the clock is there? Clock is here. We have clock in our report. We don't. That's annoying. That's the mirror? No, behind the mirror is the clock. Right there. No, you're right. Fuck. Wait, where the fuck is the clock? I thought that was the clock on the ground, but I guess if it was a standing mirror, it would have been like here, right? Which means if you were looking at it and took a photo through these blinds looking at that mirror, you would see this, right? And the clock is presumably elsewhere. In the southern hallway where the shooter stood. Of the stream. That's what Reyes is saying. The clock was in Morgana's drawing. Ah! Let's go! Okay. Clock was on the wall. The char got knocked over. The face was there. Fuck. Vase, thing, clock. Clock? Wait, what the fuck? The vase was just tipped over. The chair. This thing, right? Or is that the chair? Wait, what angle is he pointing at? I think it was taken from here. Then the mirror looks at this, sees the clock. The body is in front of the mirror. Yes. Correct. Yeah, wait. Save game. I think the photo was taken from the west. Or that's simply not possible, detective. The photo has to be taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? I'm misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of that. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARCS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And now raise the ante of a hand up to the current max. Answer wrong and you'll lose more credit, but answer correctly and you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. Tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider it's on the wall, cushions. Let's raise it to the max. Throw in the statement. Let's take one look at the clock in that photo. Let's go. The clock. What about it? Okay. It took a little while for my brain to properly put everything in a more list way in my brain, but we got there. All right. Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on and keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shoot. So, wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. He's wrong. The time of death is correct. Time of death 9. Nope. That shit is fucking right. But let's go gambling. It said max on the screen. Maybe it only let me do 3? I don't know. That's 9, right? Not crazy? That's 9? Pretty sure this is 9. He's wrong. The time of death is correct. That's a good question, Detective London, but the answer is no. Let's go! +2. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistake in that. So then what the hell are you talking about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. That was so special about that. Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time it reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor, and the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. My client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung on the eastern wall. Like so. What the heck is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's very distinct. We got information on how the crime scene was before the shooting. Why didn't you just add that to the arcs and show you my hands? It's because the discovery law compels us to share info. Doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slipped my mind. I'll do that now. Thank you. Honestly, Morgan, that was kind of fucking with me more than fucking with them. But sure. Thanks for updating it. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9, the same time that the photo was taken of the shooter, but you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall, but it could have been knocked down during the fighting. You got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. There's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. The room was trashed before the shooting. Motherfucking odd. Not even a scratch. From mirror broken at the crime scene, shards fell onto the victim. Fell onto the victim means that it broke after the victim fell. Oh, okay. Yeah, max is 3, it seems like. What about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. Let's go! And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's bodies, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what do you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated? Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterward? You still shot her. We have a photograph right here. I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult. And maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall, which means that this photo was the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. The only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot from right under you. You're right about the hallway and your attention. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is the mirror. Max me! What is that? You're trying the glass shards again, sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from a standing mirror. Let's go! +5. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, stood across the room from the west window. But then that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered, because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That's Max. Now that's Max. That should be the end of it, except it looks like Detective Reyes is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has gotten its teeth in her now, crawling up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, Danganronpa. My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you receive photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photograph to track down the real killer, you try to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. You could have had a backup arm. You could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming. This kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got. Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find, and he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around at minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well, any objections? Detective? God damn it! Oh, get owned. Show me your hand flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger. She just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah, that's kind of you to say, Detective. My work is its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same, counselor. But what happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. There's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation to Heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It didn't happen. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know! There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, to try to convince them I didn't do it. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to. No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss, but the blood's always different. Flowering stain unfurled towards an invisible sun, a perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. A war chest has a singular universal meaning, vitality at its climax, bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. The comical thud of the body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Bullet number 6 of 6, the gun's empty. Useless to me now, may as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a bare bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around the dark here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend back from an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so damn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably rouse half the neighborhood, but I don't see anything I could use as an even partial suppressor of on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I use the other 5 bullets. I use the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces and small spheres of blinded opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean, organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. Just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kicked over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each one of them not a speck of evidence, something to go on. For the final shot, there has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration, and try to savor the shredding. It can't be clean. I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. Well, this was all stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with a single shot? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by a label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. You're just some recluse, lonely, socially inept loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected 1 too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room's thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have been irritated me to no end. Now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no one instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoyed your 15 minutes in the spotlights. Really savor it. I'm going home. Bergen's phone icon. Oh! Very fun. A heavy foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off and the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this, and I walk. Sorry, still using my left as... That's okay, you can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic room home, courtesy of our city's fine sprawling public transportation, got a bit there after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40, a posting for public defender work came in. A decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer and enough debt that he needed to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition for after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too, but easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There'd be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches. A cold case rotting in the very back of the public's awareness is always preferable to an open and shut case. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now, Heartbreak can just starve to death and out of sight and out of mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case was... This intimately does have its risk. Hell, I might even outdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seems more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities flailing from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Deanne's grateful too. Funny, I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just keep thinking she might have died angry at me, that she must have died hating me. Present evidence? Potentially that? I don't know. Let's give it. I mean, I can save. There's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the arc state that I couldn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. Yeah, the pills. Where did you find that? The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the arcs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contains tripoxone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky to clasp, too, for a pill organizer. Could it be hard to handle with an unsteady hand? No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did. Feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time, but as far as facts are concerned, she would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. As prescribed? Let's go. 5:01 a.m. June 5th. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I don't ever see him again. Whatever stuffing like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites downfall. So why not even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for heartbreak. The gun's in custody, there's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim, there won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will just move on to the next exception. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will. Found you. District Attorney Rockford. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Ugh. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes, dark enough for the dumpsters. This isn't Director Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. Despite her sometimes unkept appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know. So I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? They got you doing what they got you doing on this ungodly hour, Emma. Oh well. Actually, I'm here for you, me. Your client was a suspect in the heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, you might have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives. Yeah, London and the new girl. Rays. They were reporting to me in preparation for the trial. Preparation for the trial, that seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Ray's told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Ha, hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. When I heard about the case of the single female shooting shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. That's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer that smarted the state for weeks. He's not using his middle name. He was found with the murder weapon. But I can answer that any number of ways. It could have been Flat's. What? Oh no, fuck it, photo. Wait, true, but. Then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about. His dominant arm modded. With document sensitivity issues, could have never made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistic entry angles. Probably too heavy to not leave imprints. She got all that from a glance. But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out in the minutes you walk in here. Of course. Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, right, so you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much needed to guess the why when 99 times out of 100 the who was caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. Had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. I think I'm getting the hang of it. This profiling is some kind of investigative technique. The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poisoning guns, meanwhile, suggests they can't overpower their victims physically. And there's things that you can assume about nearly all silly offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, fewer no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. Detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes probably tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearms. Notice here, this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. Sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated but other pre-lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. I'm not thrilled about the fact that in a metaphor I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely. Considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. Doesn't mean that heart-based in law enforcement. Never in 10 billion years. Oh? Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. Must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary, tertiary? These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves. I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime meta statistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Hit the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays. Chart out the dips. Sorry. Technical, I know, but all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, and a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. It just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Are there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. Not that I'm overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. These 6 of them all look like each other. But they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, me when I'm lying. Point is, no one can kill that cleaning when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions of practice, Morgan. And that's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer. You got some catcher in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy. And their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. The real signature isn't the bullet or the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake? Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detective through a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whatever trash room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. Made them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tells you all that? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type in a city with an 8-digit population. Well, good luck. Yeah, that's fair. I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan, I need more than... No, I mean, I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Alright, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. You fall asleep face first on the table. I wouldn't even take a picture. Okay. There's always like this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. Police have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off her. To check profiles. Heartbreak. Height AB. Criminal defense attorney. High places, gambling, guns. Noisy people, mud, headphones. Mud. Batting cages. Mapu tofu, carrying a tune. Rockford. Assistant district attorney. Coffee, toffee, hot charger. Sunburn, dead pixels, ice stream. Benedict. Chess, shogi, idol, stars. Cat person, yes. We read occupation. Criminal defense attorney. Yeah. Episode 0 ends. Android, which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look upset over it. My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really, educational too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. To be continued in. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. First, I think it's cool to bring up something like fraud in the world. You're a criminal defense attorney. We're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. Never stolen anything. That wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life, and after that too. Can you tell how many musicians I've screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus? That's just a lawyer job thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekends too. Go to the demanding fault. This is freaking shit. Nobody will do stuff for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. That's a million times more likely than the alternative, that the heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. When I take a job, I never half-ass it. Of the devil. Episode 1, part 1. An idle mind. Clap. Articles, 2 of 2. Profiles, 6 of 6. 18 key item turns, 16. 36 total credit turns. Congratulations, you finished episode 0 with 36 credits. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. You also have a total of 36 remaining store credits to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credits with which you finished the episode. Oh shit! Alright. Except for the foreseeable future. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Thank you for the follow, beautiful Scarlet Cloth. Gotta buy yeah, okay. How do I do this? How does one buy a phone charm? Purchase episode 1? That doesn't seem right. Thank you for the follows. Log autoplay, terms, profile, articles, evidence. Concept gallery, that doesn't seem right. Bonus scenario doesn't seem right. Is it in the main menu? Phone, then shopping cart. Oh, right, I can actually... I have a lot. Holy shit. So these are charms, I'm guessing? Going to see it slowly unravel. Any of them that we're feeling right now? Emma is my vote. That undercover one is. Charmless is free? Well, that ain't any fun. You can click them to see them? Oh, shit. Ah! They do have the Fidget Get Tubby Charm Pink. I see. Quite. Better use the arrow keys. Well, now I have something, so. This is fine. You know what? It was a complete accident, but it is very funny, so. As they say, usually that's enough. Guess they changed it. Guess they did. All right, that's going to be it for today. No need to save. Fair enough. You also have art? We could see the art at some other point, but I am way past my stream time. Oh yeah. Have yourself one of those. That was good. Will you be seeing this again? Definitely. How soon? I don't know. Definitely not tomorrow. That's Fishing Friday. Saturday, I already promised you guys I would play that sledding game. And it just so happens to be on Game Pass, so I didn't need to buy it either. Sunday is Persona 4, so Tuesday is Isaac. So the earliest we'll be seeing this is Wednesday. No, I don't, maybe Wednesday. Just a reminder, I'm probably not going to be streaming Friday, Saturday, or Sunday next week. So I have to think about that. We'll see. We will see. Anyway, thanks for joining me for some demos. Well, this was like a whole ass thing, but technically a demo. I will see all of you tomorrow for Fishing Friday. Until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And tomorrow morning, bye.